1985 Sub-Current District Senior Men's Fastball Championships. The Agrietown Aces versus the Kyle Kin Merchants.
It's a great night for senior men's fastball action here at Ford Field. Joining me on the broadcast for tonight's game, Neil Friesen. Neil, the scenario for this situation could not be any better, really.
You've got it. I mean, we have unique things, but this is very unique. We have the 8th game in the best-of-7 series. If you want to explain that when you can, I won't.
Well, both teams won 3 games, and one game was tied, so we are down to a rubber match. Game 7 was played this afternoon, and boy, Kyle has now won 2 in a row, and they played a masterful game this afternoon.
They sure did, and I think the momentum has to be in favor of Kyle now. If they can get the pitching that they had this afternoon, this game could belong to Kyle.
Now, we look at the batting percentages of both of these teams, the 2 highest in the league, 306, a team average for Kyle, 303 for Agrietown. And Kyle's bats really jumped to life this afternoon, hitting 3 home runs.
They sure did, and it's what we expected, John. When you have averages like that, 1 out of every 3 has to be hit well, and Kyle finally came through. Now, in this game, we're looking for Agrietown to do the same.
Now, let's analyze this afternoon's game just a little bit. Both teams played rather conservative at the beginning, although Kyle did always mount a threat every inning, whereas Agrietown did not. But Kyle eventually jumped in Rod Gross, hitting back-to-back home runs in the 5th inning by Tim McCaig and Jim Jones, and after that, it was just a formality, really.
It was, and Elvin Rampel did come in, and he pitched a real good job for Agrietown, but too late.
Okay, the winner of this series takes on the Rush Lake Red Sox. What do you think we could expect there?
Well, the Rush Lake Red Sox are in the final, and they're waiting, they're watching and scouting this game, I'm sure, finding out what the weaknesses are and so on. I see if Rush Lake can hit the ball the way they're capable of, it should be a barn burner of a final, regardless who's in.
Okay, the final game of the Agrietown-Kyle semifinal series is coming up in just a few moments. We checked their seasonal stats, Neil, in Agrietown with 21 wins, 1 loss, and a couple of ties. Kyle, on the other hand, with 10 wins, 11 losses, 3 ties. But percentage-wise in hitting, both teams are so close, so I expect to have a great final here in game number 8.
You're absolutely right, and the teams are both fired up for it. I'm looking forward to a great game.
Okay, Drew Smith will start it off in the top half of inning number 1 for the Kyle Merchants, facing Rod Gross. And Gross heats up the first pitch for a strike. Rod started game 7 this afternoon, the first game of this doubleheader, and they knocked him pretty good in the middle innings there, Neil, and Rod appears to be a little bit upset by that. If the first pitch is any indication,
I think we're in for a good one. He's going to throw a lot of smoke, as they say, and bear down, and his team depends on him a lot.
Gross had some great stats over the course of the season, and we'll check those out for you throughout the course of the game. Right now, 1 strike on Drew Smith as he gets set. Here's Gross's delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Drew Smith. He'll be followed by Tim Rempel and Jim Jones. Jones homered off of Gross in game number 1. 0-2 the count on Drew Smith. Gross delivers, and Smith just gets a piece of that. Neil, over the course of the season, Gross pitched 117 innings and recorded 133 strikeouts. So that gives an indication that he does throw a pretty mean ball.
Yes, he does, and the way he's starting here, we're in for a good one.
On to the count on Drew Smith. That misses on the outside corner, 1-2. That's File can't hang on to it. What can you tell us about Rod's pitches? What kinds of pitches does he throw, Neil?
Well, he throws a very good drop ball, a good rise ball, and a change. So
that's outside, evens the count at 2-2. I think if he can master the change, that would make him a real complete pitcher, Neil.
I believe that's true, and he throws it just enough to keep the batters off balance.
2-2, the count on Drew Smith. Smith hooks that one foul down the left field line.
I think the indication here is already that Gross is firing a lot harder than he was this afternoon, because Drew is late on that one.
2-2 the count on Drew Smith. Scenario could not be any better. This is the final game. The winner take on the Rush Lake Red Sox, the defending champions. Smith hooks that one foul again, this time down the right field line as he is a tough out. Drew stays in there.
That was Rod Gross's changeup, and Drew Smith waited for it, but it was an effective pitch. I might mention that there will be ball games all next week, starting Monday night.
Going right through Friday, possibly right through the weekend. So if you want to see some entertaining fastball, come out to Ford Field. 2-2, the count on Drew Smith. That misses low in the outside corner. And that loads the count. And as was the case in the first game, Neil, Kyle always threatened every inning, and that was the big reason why they got those 6 runs. They always had runners on base, whereas Agrital could not threaten in that way.
That's right.
Full count, strike 3, and Smith is fouled out on strikes. He obviously was not too impressed by that, and Chabot is giving him a little talking over right now. I believe the next time he does something like that, he'll be thrown out of the ball game, Neil.
I believe you're right there, and what I did like about that pitch, it had a lot of heat on it, John. That ball was fired in there with authority, and I think we're seeing Rod Gross here the way he can pitch.
Gross put a bit of mustard behind that ball, so that will bring up Tim Rempel, the shortstop, followed by Jim Jones. Inside for ball 1.
Tim Rempel, a right-hand hitter facing Rod Gross.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count now. Rempel had a .337 batting average over the course of the season. 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. Just a young fella, but he is a very good ball player. That one misses low. 2-1 the count on Tim Rempel, the shortstop for the Kyle Kin Merchants.
Nice evening for fastball, John.
Beautiful night. Temperatures hovering around the 30 degrees Celsius mark, translated into about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That misses high and away. Gross figured he had a strike there. Just a bit high, I guess.
Well, I think Rod has every right to question the umpire, ask him, why did it go up, or was it down, or what was the problem?
As a pitcher, Neil, did you do a lot of that?
No, not too often.
Inside, ball 4, and Rempel is on the bases.
But we did have the right.
As he draws a walk. Jim Jones, dangerous hitter. He was on 3 times in the first game. And of course, his big hit came in the 5th when he loaded it up and cranked one over the straightaway center field. He can really hit the long ball, Jim Jones.
Well, Kyle, I've got to start again.
That one misses. Dave File doing a good job of preventing that one from getting back to the screen as Tim Rempel gets back to first base.
But like in the first game, we have Kyle with a base runner, and that's what you need to score runs.
Looks like Doug Hildebrand, the first baseman, is shaken up a bit. I did not see what happened on that play, Neil. Looked like he might have perhaps got stepped on when...
I think when Tim came back, Tim Rempel of Kyle came back, he sort of twisted himself around him so that he wouldn't get stepped on.
Hildebrand appears to be okay, though. Let's talk a bit about Jones. Plays during the weekend with Saskatoon Rempel Brothers. 2 years ago, he was the MVP at an international fastball tournament in Midland, Michigan. In fact, I think that was the World Softball Championships, and certainly that tells you the kind of ball player Jim Jones is. Outside, of course, Jim is the recreational director in Carl, and they certainly got a find when he came to town.
Oh, absolutely, and he's done a lot for this ball club. He's given him a lot of new energies, so to speak.
Gross delivers to Jones, again outside. Rod being very careful, knowing what Jones did in the first game. And he'll be followed by Tim McCaig. And McCaig was more of a headache for Gross as he homered twice in that first game, had 3 RBIs. Gross delivers, called strike on the outside corner, now 3-1 on Jim Jones as we see the base runner Tim Rempel on first.